do I understand correctly? Is this possible that you have 24-hour availability? If someone needs to call a number, they can talk to someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's even more so than that. We're 24/7, 365, as you point out. We have 4 operation centers around the country. And so what we typically do is we'll split an account team that handles a particular department across 2 of those operation centers. And that way, if there's a hurricane in Tampa, Florida, all those calls can go to the other half of the account team who's working out of Connecticut or something like that. So we're never kind of down. And, you know, we have complete back over or failover capabilities across all 4 of our centers. And we have HVAC backups. We have our own HVAC system in our headquarters. We have all sorts of disaster recovery and disaster preparedness. So in the last 2 years, we haven't been down, period, since we put all this into place. And you know, as you mentioned, in addition to being 24/7, our account teams are scheduled to work in the time zone that they're serving, right? So an account team that's handling Arizona is going to work in Arizona time zone, Tennessee, and in Central if they're on the other side of Nashville, and so on. And in addition to that, then we have second, third shifts. We have weekend shifts. So 94% of our calls are answered by the end of ring 2. And that's true at 3 p.m. and that's true at 3 a.m. no matter what time zone you're in.
And that is for the agency or the client. I mean, someone has
either way. Because we get calls, you know, between midnight and 8 a.m. on the East Coast alone. We'll probably get 50 or 60 calls at night. And some of these are emergency service calls because depending on what state you're in, what ordinance, the local ordinance, if Verizon calls and says, we have live wires on the street because somebody hit a telephone pole, we need 2 officers right now, that's extra duty. In some places, that's not extra duty. But, you know, you have bar owners or managers of movie theaters that are calling us at 1 a.m. when their shift ends or whatnot. And we take that call just as if it's at 1 p.m. And the same with the officer. You know, we might have an officer who is working an overnight detail and calls us because the foreman asked him to stay late. Or it's supposed to end at 3 a.m. and it's going to go late because the foreman's taking his time and he has to go to active duty at 4 a.m. So he calls us and says he needs relief, and we'll put out an emergency job to get somebody to back him up. So it's around the clock.
Well, and that's a service worth having, no matter what you are, because I think about the times that a client needed to get in touch with the agency, with our office. They only had the number of the person they signed the deal with. Oftentimes that person's at home asleep, so they're leaving a message. It's handled the next day. It can set up a frustrating situation for the client and certainly an embarrassing situation for the agency, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but you know, a lot of times agencies will have rules that if you want to cancel a job, you have to do it at least 4 hours in advance of the start time of the job, or there's a minimum payment or whatnot. So you know, if it's raining or snowing in your locale, you're going to get landscapers, contractors, utility firms calling you at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. to cancel their 7 or 8 a.m. job. And you got to be able to answer that call, because if you don't answer the call and then you try and charge them for your minimum, they're going to say, well, I called, you know. So we're 24/7. All the calls are taped, and not only that, but we have recurring customers get a portal where they can go online 24/7 and they can request officers. They can check if what they paid, what they haven't paid, what details they have open, all online too. So we try to make it very, very easy for the customer.